Sweet. All right. Is it good afternoon? Is it afternoon yet?
Yes.
Okay. Woohoo. All right. So, good afternoon. I am Kristen Robinson. I am your social media ambassador mentor. And this is my most comfortable talk. I was like, this is my most comfortable one. So, this one I call Social Media Puzzle. I haven't changed the name yet. But it's just stake your claim in your social media landscape. But also, I call it's my personal name is I call it Social Media Puzzle because for a lot of people, social media is like this piece that's over here, and then their marketing's over here. And it's like, no, if you could make a jigsaw puzzle, it would make this really, really pretty picture. But it's not pretty if there's like pieces over here. So what I try to do in this presentation is to make sure you can kind of put all the pieces together, like all the different marketing pieces, making sure it all comes together, like making social media that piece all comes together. All right. So who am I? I'm the owner of KR Design, the same as my company. I'm graphic design certified, web design certified, mobile marketing certified, and search engine marketing certified. Lots of stuff. But the reason why I explain that to you is because I look at social media differently. So with my graphic design background, web design background, obviously I can code in applications and make things pretty. But I think the most important thing that makes me different is the mobile marketing and the search engine marketing certification part. So when you're writing your content, making sure the keywords are in there and making sure that's there. And then the mobile marketing, making sure you're taking advantage of the features that are not only the desktop features, but the mobile features. Because a lot of people forget that there's certain features you can use on the mobile platform and social media that that they don't think about for the desktop. I've worked at House of Blues corporate. I've worked at X Games Los Angeles. Long Beach Aftershock is a women's professional football team. So I was a PR intern for them. Radio Disney. A lot of people don't know ABC, ESPN, and Disney are all the same company. So when I worked for Radio Disney, I worked for Radio ESPN and I worked for KBC as well. And then my mother is an actress. She actually started her own casting company, which is turned into a management company. When I was 21, she made me the CFO of her casting company. So I actually helped her do all the operations and things like that. And then taking those skills, I became a sports agent. So I specifically, what I specifically did was I took Division III football players and got them to play overseas in Canada, well, Europe, overseas, or north of us in Canada. So that's what I did. But I had all that great stuff. It did not really prepare me how to run my business. When KR Design started in 2010, we were actually a full-service marketing company, obviously with all the certifications. So, but the problem was, I didn't really know how to attract clients at all. So I started using social media. And when I started doing social media, I actually developed a 5-step system that I didn't really know. Now that I've named it, I know it now, obviously. But doing that system, I attracted over, I know how accurate it is. But using that system, I attracted over $1 million in business. Unfortunately, because I just started, I couldn't really do it, but I attracted it, and it was really, really great. But it helped me realize that social media was what I really wanted to do, it was really my passion, and I could help other business entrepreneurs do it as well. So, if you set up your social media profiles and you don't know what to do next, you're in the right place. If you want more confidence using social media, right place. If you want to expand how you reach your customers other than word of mouth and referral marketing, cool. You want another way of marketing your business, or if you want to step ahead of your competition. So, we're going to talk about how social media can do some of those things. I know, huh? Yay! So what can social media marketing do for your business? Well, a couple of things. It can increase the visibility of your business, your product, or your service. It can bring high quality customers and prospects. A lot of people don't know that when you're doing social media, you have to be laser targeted and focused on who you're trying to target, so that's going to attract high quality people, not just everyone. New and repeat sales of products and services. When you start to build a community, they become very loyal. And instead of always hunting for new clients, you have a community that you can tap into, which is going to be repeat clients, sales. And be an expert or authority in your field. You're the best kept secrets. You don't have to be with social media. It gives you the visibility to do so. And stand out against your competition. In some fields and industries, it's really crowded and you want to stand out, you want to be different. Social media can help you define that space. So, what we're going to do, we're going to take a tour of the social media landscape. I'm going to help you determine what's best for your business. I'm going to give you some of my best social media tips. And then I'm going to show you how you can take your social media further by showing you what my 5-step system looks like. So I will teach you as much as I can in the limited amount of time, but if you hold your questions till I'm at the end, then I can better serve you. Alright, let's take the tour. So here's the tour. So Facebook, we all know what Facebook is. Facebook is the #1 social media platform. If Facebook were a country, it would be the #3 country in the world. And right now, the pace that it's growing, in 2016, it will be China. If you had to put it in country terms, it'll be the #1. I think one of the things that stands out about Facebook is probably this bullet right here. 80% of social media users prefer to connect with you on Facebook. Not Pinterest, not Twitter, not Google+. They want to connect with you on Facebook. That's what they prefer to use. So I always tell people, if you're really stuck about social media, start with Facebook. Another tip about Facebook is the most complicated social media platform to learn. It's complicated. Yes. If you can master Facebook, you can master pretty much anything else that's out there. So you always want to master Facebook first. LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is awesome. It just reached the 500 million user milestone last month. 68, this is huge, 68% of LinkedIn users are decision makers. That's hugely important when it comes to LinkedIn. So if you're trying to do business with a bigger company or you're trying to aspire to do bigger things in your business, LinkedIn is great because you're actually going to reach the person that says yes, not just the gatekeeper. You're going to actually reach the person that you need to find. And also something about LinkedIn is every Fortune 500 CEO has a personal profile on LinkedIn. All of them. All the Fortune 500 CEOs have their own personal profile. Another thing about LinkedIn is that if you do business to business, that's where you need to be if you do business to business. But also, people are twice as confident on the information they find on LinkedIn than they find anywhere else. So most people believe LinkedIn news over pretty much anything else. Alright, so just to put this all together, just to kind of give you an example, this is my friend Stephanie. She is one of my clients in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and she's a real estate agent. Now, being a real estate agent, you would think Facebook would be where she needs to be, because those are where home buyers are. However, her niche was very specific. She wanted to reach military buyers who wanted to be real estate investors. It's pretty specific. So, thinking of that, military home buyers, but people who are buying a second home, we decided for a strategy for her was to put her on LinkedIn. Why? Because the average LinkedIn user makes $109,000. If anybody can afford a second home, it's a LinkedIn user. So what we did was we were able to find a LinkedIn group that specifically catered to military buyers who were looking to invest in real estate. So we put her in that group, and something awesome happened. It turned out she was the only real estate agent in that group that represented North Carolina. So if you wanted to do investment and you were military and you wanted to buy in North Carolina, she was it. And within 2 weeks of putting her in that group, she received a cash buyer from Virginia, interested in purchasing real estate investment homes in Jacksonville, North Carolina. So this is kind of what I want to show in the presentation. Just because that's what you do doesn't mean that's necessarily where you need to be. It all really depends on your strategy and what you're going for. So Twitter. Twitter's my favorite. Not active as much as I should be, but Twitter's my favorite. For a couple of reasons. Twitter's my favorite because it's all about information and news. Here's my caveat though. It's very fast paced. So let me give you an example. And I say suggested, not recommended, suggested. If someone were to message you on Facebook through your business page, the acceptable maximum time for response time would be 24 hours. Acceptable. Not preferred or recommended, just acceptable. In LinkedIn, that same acceptable response time would be 48 hours. Facebook 24, LinkedIn 48. Twitter, acceptable response time is 4 hours. So I tell people, if you like it, get the app because it's very fast paced. But on the flip side, I find it's the easiest social media platform to establish yourself as an expert. Why? Because it's all about information and news. If you put out good content, people will follow you. The viral effect is amazing with the retweets, and you will be established as an expert very quickly. It's very easily and acceptable to establish yourself as an expert on Twitter. So It's very, very fast paced, but it serves you well if you want to be an expert in your field. Google Plus. So Google Plus is Google's third attempt at a social media network. They've never done this before. They've done this before. The thing about Google Plus I recommend to people is that they're mostly male. They're 70% male users. So if women are your audience, you don't want to be on Google Plus, really. But the one thing I love about Google Plus is very good for recruiting, and it's really good for collaboration because you find a lot of people are technical. They're very high in their field. Google Plus brags one of the highest social media platforms of education. Most people have a master's as far as the user demographic.
Really?
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know. I know people are like, yeah.
Like
it's where the intelligence
profiles as you talk with them too.
Yeah. What I find interesting is that Google Plus is the #2 social media network. It's very quiet in that aspect. Not a people think about that. So it's #2 social media network behind Facebook, obviously very behind Facebook, because it has millions of users and Facebook has billions of users. But it is the second, the #2 social media network. On the flip side, Pinterest is mostly female. 80% of Pinterest users are female, and 50% of them have children. So if you do something family-based or women-based, Pinterest is it. It's awesome. 25 to 34 is the most popular demographic, and they're twice as likely to be college educated. What kills me about Pinterest is that the average American user spends an hour and 17 minutes. Why? Because they are making a buying decision. So if you have a product, or if you have something that needs to be visual, you need to be on Pinterest. Because they're actually, what they're doing is they're looking at the different boards and they're going, ooh, what goes with this? Ooh, goes with this. Ooh, that looks great. And they click through the picture and they actually buy that item. So for people who have products, or people who have something visual that's hard to explain in words, Pinterest works really, really well. So which one out of the whole tour is really best for you? Well, let's figure this out. Finding the right social media platform is very important because you don't want to waste time. There's nothing worse than you're on the wrong social media platform spinning your wheels and saying it doesn't work. It's because you're probably in the wrong place. You want to get the most out of your marketing dollars and time. Even though social media is free, the time you spend is not, because you could be doing something else. You always want to attract high quality customers, and I think one of the biggest things is if you're in the wrong place, you get frustrated and you miss out on potential opportunities, which is really crucial. But one of the things you need to think about is, what do you want out of social media? Think about, as someone would say, the end in mind. What is that you want it to do for you? Are you trying to attract more clients and customers? Are you trying to get more visibility? Are you trying to promote an event? You have to think about the end in mind when you're doing social media marketing. So, some ways and tips that you can pick the best one is look at your clients, and since we've been through the social media tour, which platform fits the best demographically? Obviously, what type of business do you have? If you're business to business, obviously no-brainer, you gotta be on LinkedIn. If you're business to consumer, then you got a lot more options. If you're both, you have a really hard time trying to figure that out because you have millions of options. But I think the biggest thing you need to think about is, how much time do you want to invest? You saw what I said about Twitter. I gave you my disclaimer. If you're not going to have a phone app, don't try. But how much time are you willing to invest? Obviously, LinkedIn, the average appropriate time is 48 hours. Then it's a lot easier to manage and maintain. Also, what is your marketing budget? As you get more advanced in your social media journey, you need to think about what the budget is. If you start advertising, all this stuff comes into play. Facebook is not as expensive as LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the most expensive to advertise on. Twitter and Facebook are about the same as far as price points, Twitter being a little bit more cheaper. So when you start to do advertising on the social media platforms, you want to think about your marketing budget. How much do you want to spend? My personal favorite, how much are you willing to share on social media? LinkedIn, it's business to business, you get to hide behind your company. Twitter is, you gotta put yourself out there. You have to be 100% authentic. I'm not saying you have to say what you have for breakfast, but you definitely need to be more of you. Like, your picture has to be you. You have to add a little bit more personal on Twitter. It's more about you. Whereas Google Plus is a great middle line. You know, you get to still be you, but you get to hide behind your business a little bit. So how much are you willing to share on social media? So going back to, you want the end goal in mind, I want to just share Brian. Brian is a business coach. But one of the things is he's a business coach, so you would think LinkedIn would be appropriate for him. Well, diving into his business, Brian mostly gets his clients from speaking. LinkedIn would have been great if he was, I would say probably a little farther along. But when I met him, he was just starting out, and he wanted to be known as the expert in business coaching in our area, in Jacksonville, North Carolina. So what we did was we put him on Twitter, even though we kicked and screamed and all that stuff. He didn't want to put himself out there, and he just wanted to speak. And I was like, that's great. But in order to build your reputation, people need to know who you are, because he was a best kept secret in our area. So we put him on Twitter, and within about a month, he comes running to me and goes, "You'll never believe what happened." I'm like, "Oh, great, what happened?" So what happened was he was putting out good content on Twitter, and a prominent business consultant in the North Carolina, in the state, retweeted one of his tweets. What that means was this person had thousands of followers, said, "Okay, thousands of followers, this is someone you need, read this," and kept retweeting and retweeting and retweeting his content for about 2 weeks. And so within that month, he found someone influential, retweeted his stuff, and landed 3 speaking engagements, paid, in our area. And he was like, "How did that happen?" I'm like, "Because that guy saw that you had good content, put it out there, and said, this is someone you need to listen to." Almost like a third-party endorsement, someone influential. But that person helped you establish yourself as an expert in our area and within the business arena. So once again, end in mind. Just because he's a business coach, yeah, LinkedIn would have been great, but he wanted to establish himself as an expert. So Twitter was the more appropriate place for him. All right, so some of my best social media tips. Number 1, the key to social media is being social. Oh my goodness, yes. You have to be social. A lot of people don't understand in order to be social means conversation, 2-way conversation. You can't just spit out all your stuff all the time, but you have to be social. Keep it short. People don't have time to read your novel, okay? So you have to keep it short, between 100 to 250 characters. If you're on Twitter, it's 140, you don't have a choice. But I tell a lot of people, keep it short. I know on Facebook you can put an article in there. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Okay? So keep it short. People are browsing. Keep it short. Be visual. Everybody knows that we're in the age of video right now. Video is huge. Doesn't mean photos are going to go away anytime soon. But photos and videos are great for social media content. So you definitely want to, if you're not doing it now, get used to it and like it, unfortunately. Share information and be a resource. I know this sounds weird for a lot of people. It's like, I don't want to share stuff. It's like, but here's the thing. When you share information with your audience, you increase your value. And being a resource, it doesn't matter what it is, people are going to come to you for that. So you want to definitely share information and be a resource. Post daily, frequently, and consistently. I can tell you right now, first-hand experience, if you're not posting consistently, it's a harder job to rebuild that if you're not doing it consistently. So you want to do it daily, frequently, and consistently. Be relevant. I know this is going to sound really weird, but I remember I like a photographer on Facebook, and they start talking about an iceberg. And I'm like, what does that have to do with your business? It doesn't make any sense. Unless you're talking about this new thing you're doing with the Titanic photo series or something, it doesn't make sense. But you want to be relevant. A lot of people are not relevant with their product and service, and they don't align and match. So you need to want to make sure that you align and match. And be timely. You want to try different times to see what works best with your audience. So a couple of things you can try is you can scroll down and look at your timeline. That always helps. If you're more advanced, you can go to your insights, or you can use an app called Crowd Booster. It's about $9, and it will tell you what the best times to post are, which is awesome. So do that for you. Mari Smith is my social media guru. Content is king, but engagement is queen, and she rules the house. What that means is, that's great, you're putting out content, it doesn't mean anything, no one's engaging with it, okay? You are still a best kept secret. So that is my favorite quote, I love using it all the time. So what you say is important, but you need to engage. So one of the things that you can do for engagement is ask for what you want, use opinion-driven fill in the blanks. I love using fill in the blanks, they're really great. You can have something, one of my favorite examples is, I have a haunted house meme, and it says the scariest thing about social media is, it has a blank. And I put in there, please comment below what your scariest thing is. That helps me not only get more engagement, but also tells me, it's a double-edged sword, it tells me what my audience is scared of. So that I can use that for further content ideas. Have a call to action. Tell people what you want them to do. There's nothing worse when you see this great photo and it's like, hey, I'm having a sale, and you're like, a link? Click on it? Like, what do you want me to do with this? You have to tell people what to do. When you put a call to action in your social media post, you increase your engagement chances by 72%. You need to have a call to action. It could be something as click the link below. Please like if you agree. Please comment and let me know what you're scared of. Whatever the action may be, please follow me for more information. Whatever it may be, you need to let people know what to do. As intuitive as it is to you that you want them to do, you have to tell them, unfortunately. If you don't know what to post, ask your clients. When was the last time you talked to your customers and your clients? There is something out there that they probably don't understand about your product or service, but there's something that they don't know that you probably provide that you could be using for engagement. And then of course you want to track your most engaging post type, is it text, photo, or video, and seeing what exactly your audience wants to digest. Yay! So we'll put it all together. So this is my client Veronica. She is a jewelry person. She does like a hand-rolled clay beads. There we go. So with Veronica, one of the things that I always showcase her in a lot of my presentations is because she started out on Facebook and Twitter with her jewelry, and literally just used photos at first because that was, she makes jewelry. People want to see it, so that's what happened. She started using photos. What she also found was not only were photos really, really great, but people wanted to see the process. So she would literally kind of start on Monday, post one on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way to Friday, and post the final product on Friday, which was really, really great for her. And then, of course, Sloan had heard this part before, she started doing what you call a sneak peek Friday, where she would minimize what it is, and you would have to guess what it was that she was making, which was really cool. The one thing I loved about it was she quickly understood that photos were the best way, more than video for her, that that's what her clients wanted. And in such, she sells at least 3 pieces every Friday with that sneak peek Friday. 3 in the sense of, because when she makes something, it's hand-rolled clay beads. She can only make it once. She can't duplicate it. It's when she makes it, like her tagline is art that sets you apart. That's it. When you make it, that's it. So when it gets sold, and she's like, and they go, it's not on your website. Yeah, I sold it. Well, can you make me another? Yeah, but it have to be in pink, or blue, or green. Like what you saw on Facebook is not available anymore. It's gone. So she started using that as a way, to get herself on social media. But just the latest update of what she's doing now is now she's on Instagram. She really wasn't liking Pinterest. I don't know why. That would be her demographic. But remember, the end in mind. She wanted people to see her more as an artist, not really as a jewelry person. So with the end in mind that people want to see her as an artist, she got on Instagram. And you want to know, I'm going to make you guys guess. Guess, I'm going to make it easy for you. Guess which country she gets a lot of followers from. Take a guess.
Japan.
Huh?
Japan.
Not Japan.
China.
You get a little closer, you gotta go north.
Mongolia?
North.
Russia?
Yes. Russia.
What?
Her clientele is coming from Russia. First of all, I don't know how to Instagram in Russia, but okay. But yeah, her clientele is coming from Russia on Instagram because of her artistic work.
Wow.
And they are buying her products
Sorry.
because it's artistic. So,
That's cool.
end in mind. What exactly do you want in mind?